Welcome to the first episode of the Street Spirituality Podcast. Today we welcome Mal Weeraratne. Mal is a Tantric expert. He is one of the world's leading authorities on Tantric massage, yoni massage, de-armoring the body, full body orgasms, and Tantra in general. His outlook on life is super inspiring. I recently spent 10 days with Mal in Thailand, and it was boundary shattering and extremely life-changing for me. And he was kind enough to come to the studio for the first episode of the podcast. Super excited for you to listen and to hear what he has to say. He's a massive inspiration to me. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Mal.
Hi.
Hey, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
Yeah, really well.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, so let's start at the beginning. So, Tantra, what is Tantra to you? How did you get started?
Tantra to me is about removing negative emotions, feelings, thoughts, actions from yourself and from your body, and creating space for positive feelings, thoughts, emotions, and actions to come into your body. So you become a spiritual person through Tantra. So that's what Tantra is about, and there are no limits to it. The limits are done by yourself. Because of your emotions, you limit your spirituality, your growth. So that's what Tantra is for me.
Amazing. So how did you get started with it? What's your background in? When did you first come to Tantra?
Well, my wife was a beauty therapist, and she started her own business. She got really busy, so she told me, she knew that I was a very good massage therapist. And she told me, why don't you do massages in the salon? And so I certified myself to do massages in a beauty salon. And I started working there for a few years. And then I found after that we employed female staff as well. I found a lot of women, 90% of the clients were female and 5% male. And a lot of the women were actually requesting me for the massage without going to the female therapist. And also I found while I was doing the body massages on women, they reacted very different to when I massage a man. They used to release emotions. They used to cry after the massage. They used to get angry.
Wow.
They used to feel shame. After a massage, they booked like 10 sessions. They said, this is an amazing massage. I want to book 10. And next day, they telephone and cancel everything. So I couldn't figure out what's happening. So from that time onwards, I thought there must be a lot more to body work than just doing a body massage. So then I started researching and studying about body work. And that led me to understand emotions. And then I want to learn how to evoke and release these emotions. So that's how led me to the Tantric area.
Wow. So you were a massage therapist before you found Tantra?
Yes. I mean, I've been massaging since I was 5 years. As a child back in Sri Lanka, we just very tactile and we massage each other. You massage your parents, and that's quite a normal thing.
Yeah.
Touch and massage is a very normal thing in Asia. So I was brought up with that background, and then when I grew up, my girlfriends loved the massages that I gave.
Yeah.
So, but I never thought that I'll do this professionally. But then when my wife asked me to help her with the beauty salon, then I decided to do this professionally. And when I started massaging, then I found really enthusiastic about this work, because the way they behave was very, very different. I want to understand really the emotional aspect in a body work. So it's not just a massage for me, it's like much deeper.
Sure. Wow, yeah. It's interesting what you said about in Asia being tactile and loving with your family is a normal thing.
Yeah.
Have you found in Western culture that there's a blockage around that? Around being tactile and emotional with people that you're not intimate with?
Yeah, I lived most of my life in the West, but I lived since till I was about 21 in Sri Lanka. So I could really compare the two different cultures. The culture in Asia, you have extended families. So you live with your parents, or parents live with you, your brothers, sisters, and you got about 50, 60 people supporting you if you have any problems. In the West, I find you are alone. Either you are a lone single person, or you're a couple still alone.
Yeah.
You have no connection with your family, or very little maybe for Christmas, and then that was you get drunk and you argue and so I find that very distant with families, and that's the culture. But in Sri Lanka, the culture is very, very different. You get together with your families who are closest to you, and they are very loving and supporting, and any problems that you have, you don't need to go to counselors or psychotherapists or healers, because within the family you provide all that support with love, and you don't have to pay.
Yeah. Why do you think it is? Why in the West is it? Where did the difference start? Where did it come from?
I think what's happening is, as we develop our culture and the religion and economic growth, we have to work very hard to live, to survive. So the more we develop our culture and our economic success, the more we need to get away from nature. So staying alone is not natural. All the animals stay together. So this is what's happening in the West. We are developing, and with that development, we are getting distant from nature. And therefore, we have many, many problems when we stay away from nature. And then we need a lot of counseling, psychotherapy, healing, drugs, many different things to keep us alive.
Yeah, to bring us back to that feeling. Yeah. Wow, that's really interesting. I've never thought of it like that. Because it can be. I mean, I live in London. I grew up in London.
Yeah.
I don't know how many millions of people live here, but it's incredibly lonely sometimes. Most of the time, you know.
Yes. Again, I live in London as well, but I've never been lonely.
Yeah.
Because wherever you are, if you can find yourself, then you'll never be lonely. So the problem is, you get disconnected with yourself, then you become lonely.
Yeah.
So really speaking, London is not the problem. There are bigger issues that makes you lonely because of trauma that you have experienced in the past, have disconnected and dissociated yourself from you. So therefore you become alone. And when you're alone, you find it difficult to find another relationship as well, because of the loneliness that you have within you.
Yeah.
So that's why many people are going to India to find yourself.
Yeah.
But I keep saying you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You can find yourself right where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in my experience, especially growing up and having relationships and falling in love, and you go through the honeymoon period, and you know, it's amazing, and then inevitably it starts to fall apart, and you start to resent each other. And as I've been sort of treading on my own spiritual path and finding out things about myself, uncovering other traumas, and starting to move past them, it's been much easier to sustain that honeymoon period and that loving relationship, and it's not such a peak. It's more sustained, you know. And you know, if it ends, it ends, and life in general becomes much easier to deal with.
I think if you start a relationship with no expectations, then it works better.
Yeah, I agree.
Because expectations, when you don't get what you are expecting, you get hurt.
Mm.
So if you have no expectations, then whatever that little good things happen, you become happy. That way you will be happy all the time.
Yeah. And that became really clear to me on the course in Thailand
Yeah.
that we did. And I'd heard that phrase, no expectations, before.
Yeah.
But it never really landed.
Yeah.
And when it did, suddenly you're happy at the smallest things.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. And then the things that used to upset me or used to trigger me, I realized they were coming from me.
Yeah.
And not the other person.
No.
And it was all these...
Nobody can make you
rules.
angry unless you have anger cells in your body that other people can trigger those.
I see.
So you can always be happy if you don't have anger or sadness in your body. So this is what the Tantric journey is about. Helping a client to get in touch with their anger, sadness, fear, and then helping them to disperse them, get rid of them. Then you become more loving and positive and happy. Because you can never be happy unless you get rid of your sadness.
Yeah. So trauma, sadness, anxiety, pain, these are all stored inside the body in cells.
Yeah, these negative emotions were not there when you were born. You were a very happy, loving, innocent child the day you were born. But from the time you were born, when you are living your life, you start exposing yourself for different traumas. And so it is these traumas that get stagnant as emotions in your body cellular memory. And that's making you disconnected and creating all the problems that you have in life. So this is why in a culture, in Asian cultures, because of the extended family, you are more protected with love and caring and support. Whereas this is missing here in the West.
Yeah.
So you get more exposed for traumas because of lack of support. Even parents here, they are both working. So who is going to look after the child? Nannies, childminders, nurseries. But they're not your parents, your relatives.
Yeah, and that's if you're lucky enough to have two parents, The divorce rates are through
That's
the
right,
roof.
yeah.
My parents got divorced.
Yeah, so most of children have only one parent. And they find it very difficult. The parent find it difficult, and the children find it very difficult. And this is really the fundamental problem in the West, not just in the UK, but in the Western countries, all over. Yeah. Whereas this doesn't happen as much in Asian countries. You got this whole family support. Even if you're going to get divorced, then they will help you to stay together.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's really interesting.
So that's why with Tantric Journey, we have created a family ourselves.
Yeah.
And this really suits the West, who doesn't have a family.
Mm-hmm.
And Tantric Journey is a family. And every student, every therapist who joins it, we are a family.
Yeah.
You know that.
I feel it, yeah.
You feel it. You went to the workshop, you come to parties, and the atmosphere is like we are very, very close, loving, bonded people.
Yeah,
and
it's really special.
Everybody from every country, every nationality, every race, every religion, but we are one family. And we support each other.
Yeah.
And this is very important for the Western culture, for the Western lifestyle, to have this love and the support. When you are down, there's somebody there to help you or to listen to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, my tantric journey has been quite short. I've learned a lot, and it's made a massive difference to my life, but it's only been 2 or 3 months. But the speed in which that it has shown me things, and those things have grounded.
Yeah.
It's not just like I've read them in a book and it's an interesting idea. It's actually been quite simple to embody.
Yeah.
Did you find when you started with Tantra you had an awakening? And was it fast or was it slow?
Not really. I was probably one of the students who didn't have any of those awakenings. I was expecting, like, a lot of people were screaming and releasing emotions and ecstasy. I didn't have any of those things.
Yeah.
I thought, what's wrong with me? And then I found there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it is. I don't go into too much of a peak of ecstasy, because if you go into a peak of ecstasy, that has to be followed with a depression.
Yeah.
Because every hill has a valley. So I like to go on a middle path, like not too happy, not too sad, just in a middle path, So you don't go into any peaks.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in the West, they go for ecstasy through Tantra.
Yeah.
And this is bad, because every ecstasy will be followed up with a depression.
Then how do you handle that ecstasy when it does, inevitably happen, especially when everything's so new and these amazing tantric experiences that are providing us with this ecstasy? How do you approach that? Is it a case of going fully into it, or is it something where you should have in the back of your mind, this is fun, but I'm gonna, tomorrow or the next day or next week or whenever it is, it's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, what it is without overdosing with whatever you're doing, do it in small doses.
Okay.
So you will experience this ecstasy in small doses, not high doses. That's really the key. Everything you do slowly, and then it will create more capacity for you to process everything, both emotions and positive things. So everything is to be done at a very, very slow pace. Okay. Tantra is about slowness, stillness, and depth, not fast. Speed comes with the ego. So just take time to do everything. Everything will work out okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And the style of Tantra that you have developed through Tantric journey, I know that there's different schools of Tantra. There's white Tantra, pink Tantra, red Tantra, and black Tantra.
Yeah.
Where does Tantric journey fall under?
In Tantric journey, I teach everything.
Cool.
So I don't belong to any category. I teach everything, but that doesn't mean to say everybody can understand or accept or implement or retain what I teach. Everybody is individual, and you will not understand number 3 until you understand number 2. And you will only understand number 2 when you understand number 1. So you have to go step by step, 1 to 7, to understand Tantric journey. So I teach everything with the knowledge and the experience I have, but different people only embrace up to different stages, because that's the capacity they have.
And by 1 to 7, are you talking about the chakras?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And is there quite a lot of conflict in the Tantra community between which school is considered the best? I know that they use words like pure and impure, left-handed and right-handed. And
yeah, I think the conflict is because if you draw a circle and if you do a dot in the middle of the circle, in the circle you have many Tantra schools, but they're all trying to get to the dot in the middle. But they have different approaches. They have been taught differently from different lineage.
Yeah.
And once you understand that, then you will say all the schools are doing the right thing, but they're doing it in a different way. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my school teaching, my school is the best, but it's another way of teaching. And there could be another person teaching the same thing in a different way, and I respect that.
But the goal is the same, to get to
Everybody's goal will be the same.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Goal is to go to that center. That's the goal. That is 100%. Every Tantra teacher would be, the goal is to go to the center.
Yeah. And what makes Tantra different from other spiritual practices?
There's no difference.
No difference.
Tantra is, if you take the circle, Tantra is just one of those points in the circle.
Yeah.
Many other spiritual practices are also within that circle. They're also trying to get to that center.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Yeah. And that's what I find so interesting about spirituality. It's why I started this podcast, because there's so many routes to get to that dot.
Yeah.
And if you keep looking, you will find the one that you click with.
That's what's important, because Tantric journey itself is not for everyone. So now we have split Tantric journey into so many different levels as well, to make it accessible for more people. So different people will embrace different modalities of spirituality, and Tantric journey is just one of them.
Cool.
Actually, I encourage, after students become a practitioner, I encourage them to go and learn from other teachers.
Yeah.
To learn from a different, perspective.
Yeah, I mean, my background's in shamanism, and I found so many similarities between that practice and Tantra.
Yeah.
You're stripping back the layers and, working with whatever it is that is up there, or down there, or wherever it is.
Yeah.
And it's, each practice has really helped the other one.
Definitely, because they're talking about the same thing.
Yeah. And that's what I really enjoyed, because there was no idea that it was, this is the right way of doing things, and this is the right way of doing things, and you can't do this if you can do that. There's room for everything. And that was very soothing, because I didn't have to turn off a part of me that responded well to something.
You keep what you already have, and you just add other tools from other learnings and other teachers. That's what I did all my life. I never changed my identity to be somebody else, and you could never be somebody else. You can only be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the something I found really helpful when we were doing the course is this idea of Shiva consciousness. And for me, to find or have a goal of what masculinity could be. And I feel like, personally, growing up in the West, and in London specifically, the idea of a man's role in the world never quite fit with me. This idea of sort of subtle domination and stepping on others to get to the top, and being powerful and being aggressive and being stronger than other people. And I tried to embody it, and it only brought me more anxiety and brought out a lot of my shadow side, which was good at the time. And, I guess everything happens for a reason. But when we were talking to you about this idea of I guess a tantric man, this Shiva consciousness, that was really beautiful for me to hear, because suddenly all of the pressure of being this aggressive, dominating, powerful man in one aspect was faded away. So what is Shiva consciousness?
Shiva consciousness is about being able to be in stillness without reacting too much, because you only react because you have a lot of negative emotions, traumas in your body. So you get angry, you get fearful, you get shame, you get sad. So if you don't have any of those things in your body, then what you have in your body is just positivity, love, pleasure, happiness. And when you have this positivity, you can actually be in stillness. My work is mostly about being in stillness. This means you need to be, then it creates patience. You see, with patience, you can do things very, very fast. When you're impatient, that comes with ego, then things get longer or things won't get happen. So that's what this Shiva consciousness is about, to be able to be in stillness in any environment, any situation. So for example, if there's a fire here and the non-spiritual person will panic and will try to run all over this place without seeing the door. They try to break walls, they try to break everything, but the door is right in front of you. So the person who has Shiva consciousness will not panic, will not fear, will not respond to this trauma. They'll be very calm, in stillness, will quietly go to the door, open the door, go out, and then after going out, he will then try to phone ambulance, fire brigade, whatever they want to save the people inside the building to see how many people he can save. So that comes with Shiva consciousness. The person who doesn't have a Shiva consciousness, he will feel fearful in this fire. He will panic. He will not even find the door for him to get out of that room.
Yeah, and you can use that analogy for being triggered. If someone does something that creates this fire in your mind.
That's right, yeah.
You can.
That's why you fight, that's why you argue, that's why you have world war. That's why you have wars.
Yeah.
So there is no peace with this kind of behavior. And all happens because of emotions and the trauma that's stagnant in the body. If you don't have such things, then there'll be peace everywhere in the world. And within your family and within yourself.
Yeah. And in my experience, that's actually more difficult to do, to step outside of that pain, that trauma, that fire, and not react. Sometimes the easiest thing to do is react. And for me, with my, suffered pretty badly from anxiety, when I actually sat with it, I would have a panic attack.
Yeah.
So I would do anything to not have to sit with it.
Yeah.
Drugs, sex,
Yeah.
Distracting my mind, some productive things like playing music, but some very unproductive things. And the first time I did sit with it and I had a panic attack on the other side of that real panic attack, and it was after a quite sort of extensive journey in shamanism that I finally had the strength to say, I'm just gonna let this panic attack happen because I'm exhausted. And I totally surrendered. And after that, this bliss just descended and it faded away.
Yeah. Well, panic attacks come with negative stagnant emotions in the body. Something has had triggered, some situation has triggered and it's erupted like a volcano.
Yeah.
So with the Tantric journey healing process, what we do is we get in touch with the volcano inside the body, but we make little holes so that it erupts over a period of time, slowly. So you can manage the eruption. So this is what this healing is about, getting in touch with your volcano inside your body as a result of the past trauma and making little holes and giving this volcano to erupt in very, very small doses where you can manage.
Yeah.
So it's manageable.
Yeah. And I like what you said about Shiva consciousness, of things going in one ear and out the other, not affecting your heart, not affecting your lingam.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean not listening. It means understanding.
It means understanding the person who is with you, accepting and supporting, but you don't absorb that negative energy or thoughts or feelings or positive energies. You don't absorb it. It just goes from one ear to the other and it just passes by. So you become a good listener to the client.
Yeah, but it's difficult. It's difficult, especially to practice that with those you love.
Yeah.
Is it just practice? and mental strength and saying, let it go.
Why you can't do that? Let's say you have a client and they are telling their sad story and very, very sad. Now, that can trigger your sadness in your body. So therefore, you cannot listen to her because it's triggering you.
Yeah.
Then you become sad or angry. So what I'm saying is, before you become a practitioner, part of our training is you heal yourself as well at the same time while you're learning how to heal others. So part of the journey for you is to release your trauma emotions, through a period of time. And eventually you will find that a lot of these emotions will go away. Then nobody can trigger you. Clients can't trigger you. Then you will have the ability to be in the Shiva consciousness and listen to the client, but not absorb what client is saying.
Yeah.
So therefore, your energy is not affected at all. And you still become a good vessel for the client to download all their negative things. And it doesn't affect you at all.
Yeah. And with lovers, is that amplified when it becomes harder to...
With the lovers, it's the same. Absolutely the same.
Yeah.
Because there's no difference between the healer and the lover. Exactly the same. I think I have got a YouTube on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Could you explain that a little bit?
Well, what does a lover do when you fall in love? Okay. When you start a relationship, this is how you start. You have a spiritual connection first. Then you see eye to eye. Then you speak to that person. And you like what you hear from her and what you speak. And then if you do that long enough, you will have a heart connection. And then if you have a heart connection, then you want to be intimate. You touch, you smell, you look into each other's eyes, you become intimate. And after becoming intimate, then you have sex. And after sex or making love, if you're happy, then you live happily ever after and have children and have a home. So basically what you're doing is, what I told you just now, is opening the chakras from crown to the root. Root is where you say get settled down.
Yeah.
So that's the journey of the lover. And that's the process of opening chakras to start a relationship. And the journey of the healer is exactly the same, but in opposite direction. You start making the client feel safe. You open the client's sexuality, whether it's a male prostate or female prostate. You help the client to release Amrita for women. For men, you help them to separate the orgasm and ejaculation. And then you teach them how to open to intimacy. And also teach them how to open their heart with no expectations. Love with no expectations. Spiritual love.
Yeah.
Then you ask them to open the throat chakra by giving a voice to different parts of the body where trauma is stored and transforming this trauma into pleasure, ecstasy, positivity, love. And then you have the client to open the third eye, which is their awareness. And to be able to be present in the moment without thinking of the past or the future. And then it leads them to open to spirituality, opening the crown chakra. So the healer works in the same chakra pathway, but in the opposite direction, from bottom to top. So the only difference between the healer and the lover is lover's intention is to get married and have settled down and have children and have a happy home. And the healer's intention is to help the client to release trauma, de-armor, and to attain spirituality.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between the healer and the lover.
Amazing. Yeah, it's a beautiful explanation. Thank you.
And for you to be able to do that as a practitioner, you need to have Shiva consciousness.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get mixed up by the healer and the lover, and then you start going in opposite directions halfway the journey.
Yeah.
Then it's a problem. because you need to have an intention as a healer to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
Or as a lover to go in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about orgasms, because something from reading your book and doing the course, and to me before, an orgasm was just an orgasm, 3, 4, 5 seconds maybe,
Yeah.
and then it's done, and then it's followed by that, somewhat empty feeling from a man's perspective.
Yeah.
Tiredness, sort of want to be on your own, you want to do something else, you want to look at your phone, you want to, anything. And then suddenly that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And from de-armoring the body, right?
Yeah.
And could you explain about what de-armoring the body is and how beneficial it is?
Okay, let's first talk about what is an orgasm and why we can't have the orgasms. People are not having orgasms. They're having a sneeze between the groin. Orgasm is something that you experience in the head. You call this mind-blowing orgasms.
Yeah.
So why isn't this happening all the time to everyone? Because there is a pathway, a channel going from the base of our body, pelvic basin, to the crown. Invisible tube. And if this tube has got, let's say, 7 taps, 7 gateways, and if these taps are not open, if they are shut, how can the energy go upwards from one place to another? It can't. But energy gets created, because when you have desire, sexual thoughts, energy gets created. But they get dispersed at the genital level, like a sneeze, for a few seconds. Whereas if the gates are open, that energy have a pathway to travel right up to your crown. And it fuses in the third eye. And this is mind-blowing. So what's stopping this happening is because of the traumas that you experience in life. Emotions get stagnant in the body, in chakras, and the chakras get shut down, blocking this energy flow. I'll give an example. If you're heartbroken, your heart gets closed. So if your heart is closed, energy can't go anything beyond the heart. Or if you have been sexually abused as a child, if you have any trauma in the sexuality, you won't even create energy in the base, pelvic area, to move the energy. So that's even an unstarted. Or you may had, as a child, people would have restricted your speech. Or trauma could have made you in silence for the rest of your life. So your throat chakra gets blocked. So energy can't go through the throat. So like that, or you may have an intimacy issue. Somebody touched you inappropriately. Or somebody did something to you in an intimate way that was not correct. And that's trauma. That will block your intimacy chakra. So de-armoring means that not only body work, you can do de-armoring through body work. A lot of the schools are teaching de-armoring through body work. Tantric journey does the body work de-armoring, plus we do many other de-armoring. We de-armor the body with the heart, with love, with communication, by giving a voice to different parts of the body. We de-armor through intimacy, by opening the 5 gateways of our senses. So our de-armoring process in the Tantric journey is vast, not just body work. So when you clear this body, when you de-armor the body, then it creates a pathway for the energy to flow. It creates space for positivity to come into your body. Positivity won't come into your body until negativity is there. So what is this orgasm? It's about creating energy in the pelvic basin and then moving this energy towards the body. And you probably experienced this kind of orgasm that you had in the workshop is very different to the normal orgasm. Is that right?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because it's not the same orgasm you have. There is chi energy that moves in the body. Okay? So what happens is sexual energy is created in the sexual organs. And there's a place called dantian or hara between the belly button and the pubic bone. In that center, when sexual energy touches that center, it activates the chi energy. And it's the chi energy from there, it starts shooting up your body.
Okay.
That's why you feel this difference in the orgasm. It's the energy orgasm, not a sexual orgasm.
Yeah.
You experience that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know what was happening. My back was coming off the floor. My arms were shaking.
Yeah.
Seeing lights.
Yeah.
Hair was standing on end. It was like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is
It's a chi
very
energy.
different.
Yeah. So now I'll tell you, what are the health benefits? The day we were born, when the sperm and the egg got together, we got certain units of energy from the mother and the father. We call this chi energy. And this chi energy is distributed in our body this way. 25% of the chi energy is in the sexual organs. 25%. It stores in the sexual organs. And 25% in the left kidney. So that's 50%. And the 50% of the balanced chi energy is distributed throughout our organs. Without this chi energy, we die. So if you want to live longer, stronger, and healthier, we need to cultivate chi energy. Okay? Because the day we run out of chi energy, we die. So, as a man, if you masturbate, if you have sex, you ejaculate. And every time you ejaculate, you are releasing chi energy from the sexual organs. So sexual organs, if you masturbate every day, you can imagine you won't have any chi energy left in the sexual organs at all. That's why you feel tired, sleepy, lethargic. Because you need time for the chi energy to build up again. So when you run out of chi energy in the sexual organs, then you borrow chi energy from the kidneys. Then you have kidney failure.
Wow.
So when the kidney runs out chi energy, then you start borrowing chi energy from the lungs, heart, liver, pancreas, stomach, all these different organs.
Wow.
Then when you run out of chi energy on those organs, you die.
Yeah. And is it why the left kidney specifically?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So if you're going to have a kidney from another person, make sure you get the left kidney.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Can you get that chi energy back? Can you cultivate that energy?
Yes.
Yeah. That's good.
Yes. The way to cultivate chi energy is through sexual energy.
Okay.
So that's why if you masturbate and create sexual energy, and if you're de-armored, so the sexual energy can go upwards towards your body, to the dantian. Dantian is only between the belly button and the pubic bone. So if you masturbate and create sexual energy and breathe into that energy, allow that energy to go upwards, then it will actually activate the chi energy. And it is that chi energy gets multiplied. Every time you masturbate and move the energy, chi energy starts multiplying. And then chi energy from there, it will give you more chi energy to the sexual organs, to the kidneys, and to every organ in your body. So that's why it's an important practice for a man to learn how to separate the orgasm and the ejaculation and have many orgasms but no ejaculation because you multiply chi energy.
And when I heard that was even possible, I didn't believe it. I mean,
I know what I'm saying are not believable, and you need to experience it for you to, when you experience it, you know what it's like.
And you can experience it quite fast.
Yeah.
That's what was so amazing.
Yeah, it's just 10 days. That's all it took in my workshop.
Yeah.
And you haven't done any body work before. You haven't done,
No.
It's so simple. Just press a few buttons and it happens.
Yeah, that's what it was like. And the people pressing those buttons had the same amount of experience as me.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So it totally blew my mind.
Yeah.
And
it's no magic or anything. Anybody can do this, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Anybody can experience what I'm doing. But you need to come there. You need to take the first step forward. If you stay at home, this is not going to happen.
Yeah.
You need to have the courage to go there.
Yeah. And what you were saying in Thailand about, every time a man ejaculates, that's 300 million sperm.
Yeah.
You could impregnate Europe.
Every woman in Europe, if you plant a sperm that you ejaculate in one shot, you will make every woman pregnant in Europe. And
power.
They will have, 1 year, they will have 300 million babies. And in 20 years, they have a 300 million army of men and women just from one shot of ejaculation. And imagine that's the power you lose through ejaculation. But imagine if you can bring that power into your body through breath by separating the orgasm and the ejaculation. And then that's how you empower yourself.
Yeah.
That's how you become stronger, you become healthier. Then there's another way of de-armoring you as well, because this positive flow of energy will neutralize any traumas you have in your body. It's a very, very powerful technique.
Yeah.
Which Chinese and Indians have been practicing over the thousands of years.
Yeah. And the effects you feel fast. I feel like my eyes are brighter.
Yeah.
My hair's shinier. From a physical perspective, my skin's better.
Yeah.
But from a mental perspective, I'm far more positive.
Absolutely.
Far calmer.
Yeah.
And everything's easier to deal with. And energy-wise, I'm springing out of bed.
Yeah.
It's like...
you get up in the morning being happy, What an amazing day today,
And it's something so simple. It's like, have you seen the film Limitless, where he takes that little... it's like that.
Yeah.
And it's... So that's a game changer for me.
Yeah. It's very powerful, these teachings, really, really powerful. It's a pity that a lot of people don't understand. They remain secrets. Secret is because a lot of people don't have the capacity to accept and understand and implement this sort of work, practices, ancient practices.
Yeah. And the full body orgasms, like you said, it's a totally different feeling. And after sex, you feel energized.
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel amazing. You feel good.
But
sustainably.
Yeah.
Not just for a little bit.
Yeah. With Tantric journey, we don't have sex because this is not sex. This is actually a meditation. You may penetrate or without penetration, but you meditate in stillness and the energy starts flowing. So you don't have to do anything. When you come to learn the level 3, you will learn all about it. At the moment, you've done module 1 and level 2. Yeah. When you come to level 3, you will learn a complete different thing. How to move, how to use this energy to heal yourself and to heal others. And it's so powerful, this work.
Yeah. So why is sex so frowned upon? And why is it such a taboo? And why is, especially in our culture, for women, to have had hundreds, thousands of sexual partners is considered a bad thing. Where did that come from? And why is there this?
Sorry, for women, what's the question?
Why in the Western culture is there this idea that you know, if a woman, it's not necessarily seems to be for a man, you know, growing up, if a man has had lots of sexual partners, he was considered a player or a womanizer. And so there's almost
he's a good guy. Yeah,
there's almost a level of esteem to it. He must be a cool guy. He must be, you know. But if a woman has done the same thing, there's this, you know, the word of a slut. There's this idea that it's dirty and it's not considered good, and it's you know, so wrong, and it's really confusing as to where that came about and why there is this taboo around sexuality.
I think in Tantra, women are called Shakti. Shakti in Sanskrit means that sexual energy. So women were called sexual energy, and men were called consciousness, stillness. So women are the people who are arousing sexual beings, where men are in stillness. So when you get blocked with trauma and emotions, you behave completely opposite. So when a man gets blocked, you don't stay in stillness and in consciousness. You are in a very active mode. You always want to do things. And women who are Shakti, supposed to be sexual energy, they completely shut down sexually. So things happen because of trauma and emotions. They become opposite. Whereas women should be women, sexual beings. Men should be in their consciousness and stillness to support the women with slowness. Then both people will become very happy. But the trauma disturbs that equilibrium and you become totally opposite to each other. So what happens in the past is because when a woman becomes very sexual, and if a man cannot meet that woman being stillness and consciousness, women become a threat to the man. Because sexual woman will need 10 men to satisfy her.
Yeah.
Because if a man is blocked and he's going to ejaculate in 1 minute, that's not going to satisfy the sexual woman. Because women are called Shakti. So, through the religion, through the culture, men decided, let's put the women to sleep. Then they are not a threat to us anymore. So they created the religion and they made sexuality is shameful for women. They didn't do that for men. So in some cultures, women are covered from top to bottom because they don't want to show their sexuality, suppress sexuality. Yeah. So through the religion and the culture, men decided to put women to sleep. But now things are changing because of the internet.
Yes.
Women start reading and watching through the internet, and they are awakening. So that's happening now throughout the world. Women are awakening, which is not a bad thing, because women are creators, and when they awaken, they create beautiful things, which men can enjoy.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And how can we men match that? What do we need to do to...
What a man can do to support this woman to be a woman is to cultivate your consciousness and stillness and love. So she feels safe to be awakened. At the moment, she's very scared to be awakened, because if she's awakened, she doesn't know what you're going to do to her. She doesn't feel safe. So you need to create a safe, sacred platform for her to be so sure and to be able to open herself up, to be her true goddess nature to come out. And that's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And every woman is capable of getting to that state. But they are scared. Because when they are slightly awakened, man wants to have sex with her and finish it off in a minute.
Yeah.
So the man needs to have the consciousness, the patience, the stillness, to allow the woman to give her time to be awakened, creating a safe, sacred platform. Then it's beautiful to watch them.
And the Shakti goddess consciousness is sexuality, it is creation and love.
Yeah. They're harmless. They're not harmful. All these energies are harmless. Only women are harmful when they are blocked. Their frustration, their anger, their blame. They want to destroy men. They speak bad about men. This is all because of their blocks. Blocks because of the trauma. Some men must have done something bad to her. So this stays in their body cellular memory. And they hate all men then.
Yeah.
So as a man, it's very important to be able to support these women who have been traumatized so that they can meet their feminine, their goddess nature, which is so beautiful.
Yeah. And I guess that brings us nicely onto the topic of yoni massage and how beneficial that practice is to aid with that process and de-armoring.
Yeah. In the yoni, there's a small space called sacred space of the woman or the G-spot or the female prostate. This is a small organ that is least research has been done through science. I don't know why, because men who decide how to finance the research. If women are deciding, then they probably give a lot of priority for this space.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of understanding about the female prostate in the West at this very moment. Whereas ancient Indian and the Chinese, they had a vast amount of knowledge, which is also destroyed by many different cultures and religions in the past. But the little knowledge we have is enough for me to talk about it now. So this small organ stores all our traumas and emotions. The body, I would say, hold about 20%. I would say 80% of the trauma and the emotions will be stored in the prostate.
80%.
80%, as high as that, yeah. And initially I thought, when I was doing this work, I thought most of the trauma in the G-spot is based on sexual trauma, but it's not. It's not sexual trauma. It's all traumas that has happened. For example, a little girl lost her doll, favorite doll, and that trauma is stored in the G-spot, which has nothing to do with sexuality.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. Or
the father left the girl when she was 7 years, and that trauma is stored in the G-spot. It has nothing to do with sexuality.
So even when you're not sexually active, this is a space that holds this trauma, which manifests in different habits when you get older.
Yeah. Oh That's the place where the trauma is held. Woman's psychic is there. Yeah. And for the man, it's the same. Man's male prostate is the place that holds the same kind of emotions as a woman. Yeah. So when the prostate is blocked with a man or a woman, then this is the time that most of your problem starts in life. So the yoni massage helps to release the physical and emotional tension from the G-spot and teaching her to cry from the yoni to release emotions that's stored in the G-spot. And by learning to cry from the yoni, which is called amrita in Sanskrit, or female ejaculation in the porn industry, by learning to cry from the yoni is a method that women have learned to release trauma emotions from the body. So it's a very important part of the body where the G-spot is if you want to be awakened. Because you cannot be awakened unless you get rid of your negative emotions from the body. And to learn to release Amrita is very important.
Yeah. And it's something all women are capable of.
Every woman can do it, yeah. Because releasing Amrita means letting go. Learning to let go. Emotions that are holding in the body, you're holding, but you need to learn to let go. Orgasm is about letting go. So when you release Amrita, you learn to let go of everything.
Yeah. Because there's a sort of myth that some women can't have G-spot orgasms. You know, some people just can't have orgasms internally, and is that just a myth, or is it to do with the trauma?
It's because
that's not letting that happen?
it's because the yoni has got numb, because the trauma and the emotions. And when you de-armor the yoni through yoni massage, then you don't have any negative emotions to make you numb. You become alive. There's no yoni or G-spot shouldn't have orgasm. They should be multi-orgasmic.
Yeah.
Every yoni is multi-orgasmic, not just one. Multi-orgasmic. It's the numbness, desensitivity that makes the yoni numb. A lot of women use vibrators, making the yoni go numb. Every time you use vibrators, you need a higher vibration, and the yoni wants higher vibrations all the time. And eventually yoni goes numb and lose sensitivity. Tantric journey is about hovering the hand over the yoni to give orgasms, not even touching the yoni, by making the yoni sensitive, making the yoni feel safe and sacred.
Yeah. And for men, the equivalent would be a prostate massage.
For men, equivalent will be the prostate massage, but not to help the man to ejaculate, but to help the man not to ejaculate, and to release and to encourage the man to move that orgasmic energy through the body by activating chi energy. This is how you empower the man. So for the man and the woman, you do opposite things. For the woman, you help her to ejaculate, and for the man, you help him not to ejaculate, but to have orgasms.
Yeah. And it's something I found when I had a prostate massage. Suddenly, and I'd just gone through a pretty nasty breakup, you know, the day before. And suddenly all of the things I was taking so personally, and I was so twisted up inside from this pain of this breakup and the months and months leading up to it, and I was stressed out, and I had all this, you know, I guess shadow aspects of masculinity and the need to want to dominate and own things, and it just melted away.
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Something, you know, just a 3-4 hour session, and of which the prostate massage maybe half an hour, maybe
About an hour.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they haven't come back.
Yeah, I know. Once they leave, they won't come back.
They can't.
They're gone forever.
And you know, it's something that men just do not, in the West, where I'm from, in London, and my friends and everything, that they don't even believe that it's there, it's possible, it can help.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's not even necessarily a spiritual practice. Doesn't have to be. It's just
This is just
be
pure
honest.
science. There's 20,000 men die from prostate cancer in the UK, in England alone.
Yeah.
And that's the storehouse of emotions, trauma. And when the prostate is blocked, this is how the man behaves. Man become very controlling, very aggressive, because high testosterone to the man, and they want to have sex all the time with lots of women, and they blame everyone else. They don't blame themselves. So this behavior is not acceptable by women to stay in a relationship at all. Women cannot tolerate this behavior. Certainly you will not awaken her goddess this way.
Yeah.
So when you do the prostate massage and when you release the trauma, physical and emotional tension from the prostate, what happens is you increase your female hormones in the body, estrogen, and you become a more balanced man. So by being a balanced man, you are getting in touch with your feminine side of your body, which is much easier for a woman to relate to you, to make a woman feel safe. If you are a very macho man, then it's too extreme. Women cannot relate to you. But if you are a balanced man, women can relate to you. Because you understand the woman and she understands you. Because men and women are different. Men work with logic, women work with emotions. So if you get in touch with your own feminine side to be able to understand your own emotions, then you can understand a woman's emotions. And that's how you develop and sustain relationships with a woman. And on the other side, when you have a prostate massage, when you de-armor the prostate, man becomes, he won't blame everyone. If it's a mistake he has done, he'll blame himself and he'll correct himself. He's not going to be aggressive anymore. He's going to be very kind, caring, supportive and loving. And he will be able to, in a much better place, to hold the space for a woman when she's releasing emotions. And also he's not going to destroy anything. And he won't blame other people. And he will not want to control women. Because this is a big problem men have. They want to control women.
Yeah.
They can't trust women. They want to control them. They want to say, this is my property. And women don't like that. You need to give the freedom to the woman to grow, to flourish, to explore. And that freedom makes the woman to stay with you forever. So prostate massage for a man is going to transform them completely.
Yeah. It did.
And in Tantric journey, we have amazing female therapists who can treat men very successfully. They are highly trained, one of the world top class healers.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of them.
Yes, you should be. They're amazing. Yeah. And I do hope that it becomes something that more men find acceptable to do, because it's very simple, you know.
It's a very simple process, and men are scared. They feel fear that they're going to lose their masculinity. In fact, it's going to be opposite. They're going to be a better man.
Yeah.
And once they get used to this prostate massages, prostate will be so relaxed, the energy will start flowing, and you will probably want to have every month, at least every 2-3 months, as a healing process, you know, or you won't be able to be without it.
Yeah.
And again, not to overdo it, that's also bad, but in moderation, as a, you know, like you're going for a massage once in a way. This is no different to a massage. I mean, you go to body massage once in a way, prostate massage is exactly the same. There's no difference. Because prostate is made with the same blood, nerves, ligament, tendon, I mean everything, all the body parts that we have in any other part of the body is the same in the prostate. So if you treat that part the same, then you can heal that part and you can be a better man.
Yeah, and I was amazed at how, when I was receiving the massage, it was like a slideshow of past traumas, past experiences, things that I buried, so being laughed at school.
Yeah.
You know, reading in class and not being able to pronounce a word.
Yeah.
Again, like you said, things before I was sexually active, this, you know, when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
Coming and going.
Yeah.
Coming and going and releasing those things, and just feeling how connected the whole body is with your mind. It was
it's really amazing experience.
Really interesting. And like I said, they haven't come back.
Yeah. Once they're gone forever. Or you might go deeper into deeper layers of trauma. Always there's deeper and deeper you can go.
Yeah.
But the things that leaves your body, they won't come back again. It's gone forever.
Yeah, what I have found is as the traumas have been released, it's almost taken my mind some time to catch up with my soul and my heart and my higher self from things, because I spent so many years getting triggered by the same things. If I'm in a situation which would have triggered me before, there's still a small thought process of, is this going to trigger you? Is that something that happens? I sort of see it as my mind catching up with stuff, because the weight of the trauma is gone.
Yeah.
So I can sit with it and work through it myself instead of having a panic attack or instead of descending into destructive habits. Is that something that happens during a healing process?
What happens is it's like peeling an onion. When you peel the top layer, then you expose the layer below that. And then when you peel that layer off, then you feel another layer below that. It's like a never-ending process. But you are going deeper and deeper into your soul by cleansing yourself, by becoming more and more positive. Yeah. Even though it seems like never-ending, but the result is that you are becoming more and more spiritual, more and more positive. So it's a good journey to go.
Yeah.
And also, one layer gets hooked into the next one and gets hooked into the next one. So, it's a journey. That's why we call this Tantric journey.
Yeah. And would you say all people have trauma?
Everyone, yes.
Yeah. And if they feel like they don't?
If they don't have trauma, you won't see them. They'll be meditating in Himalayas under a tree for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And it's good to have a bit of trauma because you can enjoy life in London.
Yeah, keeps things interesting.
Yeah. I don't want to go to Himalayas to meditate.
Yeah.
I love my life in London.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And as this tantric world has been opened up to me and I've read books and done more research, something that really interests me, especially coming from a shamanic background and working with energies, is Black Tantra.
Yeah.
And a lot of the things I've read from people that aren't very keen on it, there's sort of like, it's about manipulating people, it's about controlling people, it's the real dark sheep of Tantra. And I'm, sure that isn't the case, maybe with some practitioners, but what exactly is Black Tantra and how does it differ from the other schools? Okay,
so I'll first explain it to you, different schools of Tantra. You have White Tantra, which is about opening your third eye and the crown chakra by doing activities by yourself, like yoga, meditation, visualization. So this is something that you do by yourself to open the third eye and the crown. And then you have Pink Tantra to open the throat chakra, heart chakra, and the third chakra, intimacy chakra. Though you have a lot of heart connection, a lot of mantras to open the throat chakra, and some intimacy work, maybe with a partner, very mild touch, smell, taste, and awaken the five senses. So that's the Pink Tantra school. And then you have Red Tantra schools, which is opening the first and the second chakra to doing the sexual healing work, yoni massages, prostate massages, to release emotions and the trauma from the pelvic basin. So these are the three schools, and of these three schools, White Tantra is the most famous, accepted and respected school. Then the Pink Tantra, then the Red Tantra. Once you open all your chakras in your body, then your energy can flow freely throughout your body within yourself. And if you have a partner right in front of you, you can then move the energy with the partner. Now this is the time when all the chakras are open, you are ready to practice Black Tantra. Black Tantra is the highest form of Tantra. It's a deeply spiritual exercise, practice. Now, a lot of people who have learned a little bit of Tantra, they practice black Tantra by having sex, orgies, or multiple relationships. But that is not black Tantra. For me, black Tantra is something very different, something very pure. I know we talk black as a negative thing, but it doesn't have to be a black as a negative thing. Black can be very sexy, very smart, very modern, very stylish. So I look at black in a very positive way. So when I talk about black Tantra, it's the highest form of Tantra that I can teach, which I teach in module 3, level 3. But I don't teach everyone. I don't teach to the public. I only teach to my own students who have become practitioners, who has at least done 100 paid clients. Then I think they have the capacity to understand what I'm talking about. I will teach all the students black Tantra eventually, if they are ready to learn. Black Tantra is about being able to stay in consciousness as a man.
Forever? Or within the...
Let's say if you penetrate into a woman, to be able to stay in stillness, not moving, just breathing. And with the highest intention of healing the yoni. The lingam has been called, ancient tantric times, a healing wand. So that means it can be used, it has been used for destroying women. And this very lingam has been destroying women, raping, abusing, giving children, leaving them, traumatizing them. This very lingam. That's all people know about the lingam. But there's another side to the lingam. This lingam is also very loving and powerful healing tool for a woman. So this lingam can be used in a positive way or as a negative way. In Black Tantra, they use in a positive way. But if anybody is using in a negative way, then they haven't learned Tantra. They have learned only a little bit of Tantra. There are many people who is using Black Tantra without knowing what they're doing. And they are the people that you will see they are doing bad things. And then they look at black as a negative thing, not as a positive thing.
Yeah.
If you see the first sculpture that they discovered in India, the symbol of Tantra is Shiva is in lotus position, sitting in stillness with an erection. And Shakti is sitting on his lingam, dancing, moving her hands, legs, dancing, awakening. But the Shiva is in stillness. And this is Black Tantra. You don't even have to penetrate, but you can stay next to each other and you can transfer this energy from one heart to another, from yoni to the lingam.
Yeah.
So the lingam to the yoni and the heart to heart. So you can have a sex-heart connection with two people, or sex and crown connection, sex and third eye connection. You can transfer this energy with two people with Black Tantra. And it's the experience you had by yourself doing the prostate massage. You know what that intensity is. This one is 1,000 times bigger than that.
Okay. Serious.
It is serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know what you have experienced, just multiply that by 1,000 times.
Okay.
But it's not something everybody can do it either.
Okay.
Because you need to learn to be in stillness, consciousness. And you can use the lingam to heal many, many traumas. And a yoni can be used to heal many, many lingams, traumas.
Wow.
So that's what Black Tantra is about. Again, you won't find in the world many people who is practicing Black Tantra. It's the least practiced in Tantra. So you won't find practitioners or teachers.
Why is that if the capacity to heal is so
Because
strong?
it's difficult to get to that
I
stage.
see.
That's the reason. It's extremely difficult to get to that stage. That's the reason. And as soon as you do this work, you become a predator, or you become if it's a woman, she becomes a prostitute. A man become a predator.
Yeah.
So you get a bad name. That's because the people who talk about this bad thing, they don't understand this work. That's the reason. Just because of ignorance. So that's why they don't practice. If they practice, they don't talk about it. They won't teach. That's why I don't teach to public. I only teach the students, practitioners, only practitioners. I won't teach anybody other than that.
Yeah, I understand, because to the public, if we want to call them that, then it seems like magic. It seems like it can't be real. You hear stories of Black Tantra practitioners being able to give women full body orgasms by touching their little finger.
Yeah.
Circulating the energy.
Yeah,
And for some people, that's just
impossible. And then Black Tantra is not sex. That's the amazing thing. In Tantric journey, we don't have sex, but we move energy. We move sexual energy. We move chi energy. That's what's healing. Sex is not going to heal. Energy can heal. So, amazing tools we have.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I heard something the other day that the peak orgasm, so the for men the ejaculatory orgasm, and for women the clitoral orgasm, is designed by nature to actually push people apart. And the theory behind it is so you can spread your seed as a man and have as many children as possible, and for women to be able to have children with as many different genes as possible to spread out the population. And apparently that's the same for all mammals. I was wondering what your opinion was on that.
I think human beings are the most advanced of all animals. That's why we survive. Others die. That's because our brain is bigger. Our consciousness is bigger. Our emotions are bigger. Our spirituality is bigger than animals. So we have more capacity to do things than animals. That's why we are surviving. And we'll keep surviving. Now, some of the things that we do differently to animals is that we try to find a partner and have children and start living together as a committed relationship. The reason why we need to do that is we protect our children. We give a healthy environment for children to grow and then to continue that pattern the parents have set an example. This is really important, to be in a committed relationship and bring up the children. But that doesn't happen now. As we develop our culture and the religion, we have many options, many opportunities. So then we leave one partner to another, to another, to another. But we also leave the children that we gave to those women. And these women have to look after their children by themselves. And the children don't have a father, or they don't have a mother. So they need nourishment, both masculine and feminine, from their own father and their own mother. If it's not there, they are in deficit when they grow up. So the culture we are living now is completely wrong. We are not showing any commitment for anything. We are totally distorted. So as a human being, why we are different to animals is because we need to show love, commitment, and find a partner and live happily ever after.
Yeah. So do you think if it is the case that these short sneeze between the leg orgasms could push people away and you could fall out of love with your partner and get bored sexually because the sexual experience isn't what it could be, that makes it even more important to de-armor the body and to experience these...
When you de-armor the body, sex is not as important as many other things. Because let's say we have 7 chakras, and if all the chakras are blocked, sex becomes very prominent because we need to have sex to achieve everything there. But if your heart is open, sex becomes less important. If your intimacy is open, sex and love become less important. If your communication is open, those things become even least important. But if your spirituality, third eye, is open, you become more balanced. So you don't have to put emphasis on one thing. Yeah. Because all your chakras are open. You are in balance. You are not in deficit. Your energy is moving. When you get blocked, then this is the time you're thinking of sex. You think of porn industry, you think of sex all the time. And you don't need that. Once all the chakras are open, you have actually ecstasy. Every day you are in ecstasy. You're happy. Yeah. And then, of course, if you want to have sex, you want to make love, you connect with somebody, that can happen. Mm-hmm. That can happen. You may be in an absolutely amazing relationship. One day you meet an amazing woman who connects with you, who you have met many past lives that you never had the opportunity to make love. And if that's a connection, of course, go there and explore. I'm not saying that marriage is just a marriage, but marriage means for me is freedom, not going into a prison. And through that freedom, you grow spiritually. So if you look at relationships this way, everything will be different. And the other thing is, love is not constant. It's a variable. You go to church and you say, I love you forever, for sickness and whatever the condition, you say, I'm going to live with you forever.
Yeah.
But the statistics are 50% of the people divorce. So you're actually lying.
Yeah.
What you should say on your wedding day is this: I love you this moment. How I feel about you, I love you. But for this moment, tomorrow it could be different. Yeah. I could love you more or less. Mm-hmm. That is the truth. And for me, I don't think love is constant. It's a variable. I love today more, tomorrow I don't love at all, or maybe less.
Yeah.
And if somebody treats me the same way, I accept that as well.
So then how do you sustain a relationship through the fear of you could wake up tomorrow and it could all disappear?
By not expecting anything to appear.
Yeah.
So if everything disappears, it doesn't affect you because you never expected that.
Yeah. And it makes it far more exciting if you wake up the next morning and it is
Everything is there. You are so happy.
there.
That's how you stay happy every day in your life.
Yeah. Mm.
So these are very, very fundamental things. Nothing... Really, these are just basics. These are absolutely basic. And you can stay in relationships so happy. No problems. There shouldn't be any problems.
Yeah. If you stay present.
Be
and
present,
with
yeah.
no expectations.
Absolutely. Yeah. And no control.
Yeah. And then one moment will just feed into the next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And just give the freedom. She must have the freedom. You must have the freedom.
And how do you learn to not take that personally?
What do you mean?
When, you know, having the freedom for both people to explore when they want, come back when they want. Which
You know what happens
I
is...
feel is a
You know what happens? When you give that freedom to a woman, she will not go anywhere. When you control her, she will want to go everywhere. This is a fact.
Yeah. Because I feel that is the, like you said, I totally agree with you. Marriage is freedom.
Yeah.
Relationship is freedom.
Freedom.
You're meant, to empower each other.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean taking choices away.
No.
But in our society, marriage comes with so many expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many jealousies, insecurities, expectations. Higher the expectation, sadder you become.
Yeah.
Or fearful you become.
Yeah.
So basically, emotional detox is the key to life.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the unwanted emotional feelings, thoughts, actions, negative, everything. And become positive. Then everything will go right way. Otherwise, everything will go wrong way.
Yeah.
And life is not worth living wrong way or being unhappy. Because our lifespan is very, very short. If we live up to 100 years, the universe age is billion and billion and billion of years old universe. In this universal clock, we live for 100 years, which is only a blink. When we blink, we are born and dead. We don't have time to be unhappy at all. We've got to be happy. That's the way I look at it. Every day, you've got to be happy.
I agree. It's very inspiring.
Yeah.
And to have these tools to put that into practice is so amazing because it takes the pressure off.
It takes, yeah.
Yeah.
You need to have the courage to face your fears. Then only fears will go away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they will stay with you for the rest of your life. That's why everybody's not having a yoni massage, everybody's not having a prostate massage. They are fear of facing their truth. They like to live a lie for the rest of their life. Being miserable.
Yeah, we have a real tendency in our culture to stay as far away from fear as we can.
Yeah.
And that it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
But in my experience, every time I've either been pushed or found the courage to step into it,
Yeah.
it's been bliss.
Bliss, yeah.
Right on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to come from your own willingness. Nobody should push you to go there. It won't work. It has to come from you want to go there. And then you will see the bliss. And also, different people can start the journey in different ways. Not everybody can start the journey the same way. So you need to start the journey at a level that's comfortable for you. That's why in Tantric journey we have many levels where you can start.
Yeah.
You can start with completely clothes on body work or clothes off body work without any yoni massages. They are all start of the journey. Or you can do just doing nothing, just Kundalini meditation. Just meditation is fine. And body movement, meditation. That's part of your journey. That's where you start. So wherever you want to start, you can start. Because your fear will be less. So you can face lesser fear.
Yeah.
When the journey begins, you will be able to have the courage to face bigger fears. Eventually, when you get rid of them, that's the time you will achieve everything that you want in life to be able to reach your highest potential. At the moment, what you can reach is limited by yourself, from your own traumas.
Yeah, and that to me is I am at my happiest when I feel like I am living up to my potential.
Yeah. It's amazing to be able to live in your truth, be able to live in your highest potential. You maximize everything. Why not?
Yeah. That's the gift we've been given.
The biggest. We're born.
Yeah.
We are born with this gift. Why shouldn't we use it? Everybody has got different gifts, and we need to cultivate that, to explore that.
Yeah. And why is it, do you think, that whenever I talk to people about Tantra, they seem to, the first thing that pops up is tantric sex. It seems everyone knows what tantric sex is, but I didn't really know what Tantra was, before I stumbled onto the course. So there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect between what Tantra is and can be, and then tantric sex, which almost seems to be quite mainstream. Why do you think that is?
I think Sting did this. Bless him.
Okay. Yeah.
He was speaking in a bar, I think, to one of his friends, saying how amazing tantric sex is having
6 hours.
6 hours, yeah. And one of the journalists overheard this, and he wrote a big thing about it.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened to the West.
Damn Sting.
But Tantra is only, sex part is only 1/7 of it.
Yeah.
There are 6 other things that involves in Tantra, which is, Sting didn't spoke about it.
Yeah.
Or Sting didn't know about it. So, Tantra is not sex, but it's using sexual energy. That's what's important. In fact, tantric sex is very different to the normal sex also.
Yeah.
Very different. I mean, it's written in my book as well. You enter the yoni with no erection.
Yeah. It seems so bizarre.
And you come out, when you finish sex, you come out with an erection. So you see how people have sex? They have an erection, they go in, and when they come out without an erection.
Yeah.
In tantric sex, it's the opposite. You go in without an erection, you come out with the erection. See how different it is?
Yeah. Totally backwards.
Yeah.
And what are the other differences?
Like men orgasm and ejaculate at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas in Tantra, men know how to separate the orgasm and the ejaculation. And at the moment, women either don't have ejaculation or they don't orgasm. In Tantra, women ejaculate and orgasm at the same time.
Yeah.
So everything is opposite.
It's just totally switches around.
Totally opposite, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Tantra is not understood. Because people cannot see it's possible.
Yeah. And the speed seems to be different. The actual speed of the penetration and having sex is not as goal orientated.
No, with normal sex, what you do is you penetrate and you really move fast to achieve this orgasm. In Tantra, we don't focus on the orgasm at all. Orgasm, ejaculation, these are just byproducts. We focus on love and intimacy and connection. and in stillness. So we don't have to do things fast. So if you open your heart with love, intimacy, and connection, you just go inside there and just stay doing nothing.
Yeah.
And things happen there.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen. Energy starts moving because the yoni feels safe and sacred, and the man is not expecting anything from her. So he starts awakening. That's what the Shiva consciousness has to be there for you to be able to stay in stillness inside the yoni, doing nothing, to give her time to be awakened. And when she's awakened, you can't stop her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tantric sex is very different to it's a normal sex.
Yeah.
And in Tantra, we don't say we have sex. It's a kind of a meditation and a deep spiritual connection.
Yeah. The Great Union, it's called, right?
It's a great union,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's next for you? Where can people find you? Where can people do the course, which I would recommend so much. The way you taught with so much integrity and step by step, it was so easy to change my life.
Thank you.
Really did change my life.
Thank you. So I think where people should start is read my book, which you can buy from Amazon. It's called Emotional Detox by Mal Weeraratne. And by reading the book, you might think I've written this book to women, but I've written for emotions. But women are emotional minded, so that's why this book resonates with women a lot. Because when they read the book, it reminds them about their life. But this book is extremely important for men to be able to understand women's emotions and also your own emotions. So this book is very valuable. So that's the place where you need to start the journey, just by reading the book and understanding this book first. And then you can read my website, which is written for both men and women, and it's called tantricjourney.com.
I'll put a link to all of this
Yeah.
at the bottom.
So when you read the website, you will see this is not a site for sex work or massage or anything really. It's a site to really help a client to get in touch with their deep emotions and trauma and help them to release that emotions. And by doing that, you will achieve your ecstasy. You'll be able to reach your highest potential and lead a happy, healthy, loving life, really. So, and there are so many blogs in there, categorized into different sections. So that's a good place to start reading the blogs, the website, the book. And then if you're really interested in knowing about it more, then in London I have once a month a talk. I give a presentation, and then you can ask me any questions. You can bring your partner, friends, and it's a very relaxed atmosphere. I do this presentation, sometimes I do some demos as well. So that's another place that you will really open your eyes to find out what this is. Yeah. Then the next thing is, if you want to explore and learn the Tantric journey work, then you start joining Module 1 workshop, which is a clothes-on body work for 2 days, and 2 days clothes-off body work, just between the body work, showing you where to press the buttons to get rid of the trauma and emotions, and how to allow the positive energy to flow throughout your body without even touching your body, just moving your hands over the body, and the body starts moving. So your energy orgasms can happen by de-armoring the body. So you can learn that through Module 1 workshop. Then after that, if you can come as a single person or as a couple or with a partner. It doesn't matter because we always pair up. Then after Module 1, if you're really interested in learning more, then you can come for Module 2, which I teach de-armoring the pelvic basin. Using a yoni massage, prostate massage, lingam massage, testicle massage. And this is all to take the emotions and the trauma from this part of the body, which people never touch this part of the body. They never talk about it. They never see. They never bring any attention to this part of the body. They treat as if this is not part of their body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this part of the body has got many, many traumas and emotions.
And the lingam massage, we didn't actually speak about that. So the idea of the lingam massage, what is the benefits?
The lingam massage is about creating energy.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have an erection, that means you are created energy. Now, a lot of the men are used to going to massage parlors to create this energy and for a happy ending through ejaculation. With Tantric journey, we do opposite to that. I know men can't understand this. But what we do opposite to that is we do the lingam massage, same as in a massage parlor. But just before they come to the point of no return, ejaculation stage, we stop. And then we move that energy that's created in the lingam, spread to the whole body. And we do this few times. And when we spread the energy, the lingam goes down again. Mm. Then we bring the lingam massage again, and we bring the erection again. So we create energy in the lingam massage, but we don't help them to ejaculate. We stop and we spread the energy. So after a Tantric journey session, what happens to you, your whole body becomes an erection, not just a lingam. And then you go home after the massage without ejaculating, but you are like a walking erect lingam. And you'll be in that erection for a few days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's true. It's true. It's true.
And you become very powerful because what women are looking for, they get attracted to your sexual energy. So if you have this erect lingam in your whole body embodied, women get very attracted to that energy. And you've become very harmless. You're not a scary person.
Yeah.
Women get attracted to you for that sexual energy. And also you can live longer, you become strong, empowered, you become much more healthier. So it's very different to what's happening in a massage parlor, happy ending. You will actually have a happy ending here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Mal, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was the first episode of Street Spirituality with Mal Weeraratne. If you're interested in finding out anything more about what he does, head to his website. I've put all the links at the bottom of the YouTube page. If you're interested about hearing any more of the podcasts, you can follow me on Instagram. It's at EddieLsey. That's EDDYELSEY. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.